No Man's Sky has completely ruined my life. Whether it's due to sinking in hours upon hours to get that one fuck-ass rock that I don't even remember what I needed it for in the first place, attempting to earn an honest living only to then say fuck all of this intergalactic government restrictive bullshit. Do you have any people I can kill? Or the fact that this game changed who I was as a person. I know that sounds a bit too heavy for a game with dancing lizards in it, but just allow me to elaborate. I have, truth be told, invested a shameful chunk of time into this game. On face value, this wouldn't be anything weird in particular. In fact, many gamers find that one game that latches onto them like a parasite, and they never leave the game for months straight. And No Man's Sky has had a bit of a resurgence in player count lately, and seems to have kind of a healthy player base. But what makes the fact that I'm playing this game so weird is the fact that I hate the space genre in video games. Now that I have you contemplating the life decisions you took that led you to click on my video, allow me to elaborate, my friend. No, it doesn't get less confusing. Keep watching. No Man's Sky had been rather dormant in my library for what felt like a fucking decade. I only originally bought the game because of that initial hype this game was carrying when it was released. And yes, we will absolutely talk about the kerfuffle that was the launch of this game. You have to understand, this game's hype was genuinely bonkers insane. When this game started to reveal more of itself piece by piece, it looked like the most ambitious video game ever created. And while I bought into the hype a tad, I kept a very safe emotional distance from this project. And that's because my little rebel heart could not give a fuck. That's not funny. Seriously, I really could care less about the space exploration sim navigation Star Prince genre of gaming. And despite what I said earlier, that is not due to an inherent disdain of the genre itself, but more so the amount of times I have been burned by it. Because deep down, I love space exploration, alright? I'm not kidding when I say ever since I was a kid, I always wanted a space exploration game to satisfy my craving to discover. That and, you know, sick-ass dogfights. I mean, come on. I was 10 when I saw Star Wars, and that changed who I was as a person. There were plenty of other games that absolutely slapped dick when it came to exploring and crafting cool shit. Every time you crafted a new item, visited a new realm, or stumbled upon an ancient structure, I would man giggle. These were the mechanics in games I loved the most, but none of them had the sweet, delicate delight of space travel. The idea that there was a universe filled with literally infinite possibilities and you just had no idea what you would find out there made it so incredibly engaging to me as a child. It also made it the fucking scariest thing imaginable. I love space so much because, honestly, as a kid, I was pretty rebellious. I liked to forge my own path, aka I was a D student and I was bad at math. No, my mother is not proud. No rules, no work, and no authority? Sign me the fuck up. Not to mention, when it came to fiction, there was literally limitless potential when it came to storytelling. Games like Halo, Mass Effect, Faster Than Light, and Dead Space. No, I will never play that game again. It is funny that I claim to be a rebellious child all while playing very authoritarian games, and if the UNSC was real, I absolutely would give my life for it and sign up for the Spartan program. Hello? Got a 6-year-old here you can abduct and experiment on? Anyone who does not know the lore about Halo, that sounds very fucking strange to hear. It honestly all kind of begs the question of, do I like authoritarian regimes? No, like, well, unless I'm leading it, right? Because then I'd know I would make all the right decisions. But when it came to a game specifically designed around being a space exploration game, it was slim pickings, y'all. Whether it was the take a loan out and sell a kidney approach of Star Citizen, fucking yuck. The headache-inducing complexity that is Stellaris. I actually do like that game, but I don't get it at all. Or the wide as an ocean but deep as a puddle that is Starfield. To put it simply, the space exploration genre left much to be desired. But for me, there was this one game on the horizon. A game promising to be the new next best space sim game ever created. A game that's so large that while in theory you can find your friends, it would take months, if not years, to do so. A game that seemed to quench the thirst for all space-loving gamers. That game? Yeah, it was No Man's Sky. And if you know anything about history, it didn't. No Man's Sky may have had the most disappointing launch known to mankind. They were Cyberpunk before Cyberpunk even existed. Honestly, the release of this game was so bad that there is an argument to be made that they started the trend of pushing out half-baked games that are nowhere near finished. Games like Mass Effect Andromeda, Fallout 76, Cyberpunk, and Anthem all came out after No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky literally set the trend for dog shit. There were so many promises made that were all under-delivered upon, which became a modern business practice with most game developers. They seriously let down so many gamers around the world, and they hurt a lot of souls when this game was released back in 2016. But it didn't hurt me. No sir, that's right, I'm better than you. Hey, did you know that this guy only recently learned how to make spaghetti? For me, I knew what they were offering sounded way too good to be true. I had accepted that the ambitious space exploration game was nothing more than a pipe dream. And while I maintained that hard exterior of apathy, I too yearned for that wonder game. That space exploration game that we've all wanted. Because I do not want to play fucking Faster Than Light again. But then something interesting happened. Something strange. No Man's Sky didn't No Man's die. The dev team over at Hello Games kept their fucking heads down and went to work. Normally, I try not to praise a development team for making the game after the fact, but for many game devs, when they release a game at a piss-poor launch, they kind of just abandon it. Not these guys. These guys believed in what they were doing and they stuck with it. Update after update after update. This game started to become more and more, get this, like a game. They added new structures, more stable multiplayer, a bunch of plants. It's cool. Yeah, okay. Sure. And also a shipbuilding mechanic, which, yes, is cool as shit. Actually, McSpoon's Star Citizen had shipbuilding in their game before. Yes, that's true. As my deceased friend here put it, Starfield also had a lot of these mechanics, and also recently had a major update, but still nobody gave a fuck. So I held fast. The cynic in me was winning yet again. But then, something strange happened. I got bored as shit. Turns out playing DayZ for 11,000 hours straight can really get to a motherfucker. And as I was perusing my library of games I owned, I stumbled across that dogshit one, No Man's Sky. It's kind of hard to explain, but it was like there was an inner voice telling me to open this game. A compelling whisper, almost commanding that I play this game yet again and give it another shot. And that's a voice I typically only hear that makes me check to see if the stove is off for the 5th time in a row. So I said, what the hell? I indulged the voice, booted up the game, and voila, crash. All right. Oh, let's do it again, I guess. I boot the game up a second time and boom, a second crash. Congratulations, universe. You have once again reminded me why I do not get excited for anything. I'm fine. I'm fine. But after I gave it one more shot, the game booted up, and I was locked in. It took this game minutes, if not seconds, to lock in my attention as I was completely consumed by this game, and I knew right then and there I was going to be playing this religiously for the next several months. I was absolutely amazed by the beauty, the world, but more importantly, that music was fucking gorgeous. I literally would crank it up so loud because the composers of this game absolutely knew what they were doing. I would let them abduct me. I couldn't stop mining resources and crafting new blueprints, and I didn't even realize that you could build bases in this game. Every time I would pursue one mission, something a little bit shinier would grab my attention and I would follow that instead. And this happened hundreds of times. Hey John, I know I'm supposed to find the meaning behind 161616, but there's a fucking space jellyfish in front of me and I want to know if I can shoot it. That little whisper in my brain that compelled me to open this game in the first place was the same whisper I heard telling me to pursue new planets and discover new shit. And eventually, it wasn't really a whisper. It was a very loud-ass command. Each planet I went to had such a unique environment, and I never saw the same animal twice. And some universes even had their own separate, like, light waves. There was actually one planet that me and my friend went on, and it looked like we were on a Harkonnen planet. Oh my goodness, you are just adorable.
May thy knife chip and shatter.
I haven't slept in a long time. I cannot stress this enough. This game has completely consumed my life, y'all. I have been mining, trekking, building, trading, and even when I would get like an ounce of boredom, a pirate would attempt to steal all of my shit. And if they knew how little I had, they wouldn't even bother in the first place. Oh, got a communications coming in. Hello, sir.
Shut your dumb ass up and hand me over all of your shit. Everything you got in your pockets, run me that shit. Give me that uranium, your silver, and throw in some of that get-nip too, bitch. Okay. You can keep your ferrite, pussy.
I don't really have much to...
Oh, you think I'm asking you for some shit, huh? Oh, you think I'm playing? You think I'm joking around? Hand me your shit. Listen, if you don't slide me your rocks, I'ma send your ass to a Whitney Houston concert, you feel me?
A tad specific. While I was doing everything I could to make as much money as I possibly was able to do so, the best way possible was to join the League of Outlaws, because then you got to kill for hire. Look, if you're expecting morality at this point in the video, as you can clearly tell, I'm a little bit unstable right now. You know, let's take it back to that pirate encounter I had earlier with that very unpolite Gek, might I add. I have to compliment this game's space battles, but just a tiny bit. I will say they are visually stimulating and they do get the heart pumping, and especially when you're attacking a frigate or defending one and you have to fly under their shields, destroy their power cores, and then slowly chip away at their outer exterior is some of the most fun parts of the game. However, it is doggy poo-poop easy. The game literally tells you to just hold down the S key and you will auto-lock onto any enemy you are currently fighting, and to be honest, I kind of liked it because I'll look for any excuse to turn my brain off. So while yes, it is atmospheric and at times can be engaging, for the most part, it's daycare. And if you're someone that wants to play a space exploration game, but you really want those awesome dogfights in space, there are a few games that do this better. I am only going to praise Star Citizen once, so take this little nugget of truth to the grave. But they did it better. I'll just say that. This could be the difficulty I set at the beginning of the game, but I was playing on normal mode because I just thought that's what they were building the game around balance-wise, and I don't know, maybe I need to crank it up a notch. Now, I said this game ruined my life, and while yes, that might have been a tad bit of hyperbole, there is some genuine truth to it. If you exclude the simple basic parts of not going to family and friends events because I'm too busy mining ferrite dust so I can get magnetic fucking metal so I can build a computer or some shit. The other aspect that ruined my life, quote unquote, came in a tad later in the game, and that was finding these little settlements. When I got a distress call to help out this settlement on this one planet, they kind of just needed a little bit of protection. So I thought, hey, I offer my services, they give me goods in return. It is simply an exchange of goods, nothing more. I am not leading or starting any form of government whatsoever. Let me tell you why I hate Atlas. But as I started to help them more and more, I noticed that I became a tad more tyrannical, so to speak. Oh, you guys want an extra holiday for all the good work you've been doing? Last I checked, we're $1.2 million in fucking debt and we live on a planet covered in acid. Get back to work. This was the part that was changing me. I honestly thought I would just simply help them and move on. But they asked me to be their leader, and I'll be honest, I did not protest as much as I thought I would. Getting that little taste of power really did start to consume me, and I often would find other planets that had other settlements on them, and I would take charge of them too. Because at the end of it, when you get a settlement out of debt, they start to actually give you some shit for it. And I wanted that shit. Because truth be told, I wanted to earn an honest living, but having other people do my work for me, and then I got to profit off of their hard work, was quite enticing. Sorry. I felt particularly gross about it because while many of my citizens lived on this ass shit fucking acid rain planet, I got to go back to Paradise Island and enjoy the very stable weather my planet had, and I would only make a trip down to my town when I needed to take shit from them or increase their taxes. Oh my god, I'm the villain. If we're taking philosophy aside here and we're going back to the game, you're welcome. I have to say the depth in this game is insane. I've been playing for maybe 50 hours now, and I have to say I am nowhere near the end game that this provides. Let's say you want to build a certain thingamajig. Well, in order to build that thingamajig, you need 2 different types of rare minerals. But you can't just mine those rare minerals because you don't have the proper drive to get to those solar systems. So you need to build your idiom drive, and the only way to do that is to get some other shit. And in order to get that shit, you have to build this other thingamajig. So when I found out I needed like nitrogen gas, I took a trip down to my settlement. Turns out they have been mining it for me. So I took that shit. And that little itch turned into an addiction. I was making my settlement a utopia. After all, the hard work I did got this place to where it is. The least they can do is never take a break and keep making more stuff. I love consuming. I'm going to tell you a little bit about capitalism here. You see, capitalism is basically... I don't think anyone wants to go to 7-Eleven. I don't know what that was. The reason this game ruined me is because 10-year-old me finally found that space game he had been yearning for from the very beginning. Sure, if you don't want to play this game out of principle because of that dog shit launch, I absolutely respect it, brother. But if you're willing to give it another chance, I can tell you firsthand it's completely consumed me. So actually, maybe don't play it. And while I wasn't really engaged / gave a shit about the narrative of this game, I still found myself 100% consumed and enthralled with the world and the mechanics this game offered. And from a video game's perspective, those are kind of the 2 checkboxes that need to be clicked. Story, it's a nice cherry on top, but it can come second. Honestly, this game made me kind of feel like I was on a high that felt so good that I honestly... I was going to play Starfield. I'm just kidding. I'm not there yet. This game honestly, in a weird way, confronted what I thought I would like out of a space game. I thought I would want to just be a space pirate and kill for hire constantly and continuously loot and smuggle in drugs, apparently. But it turns out what I had the most fun doing was leading as a dictator for a settlement that initially asked for help. All they wanted me to do was kill some of the robots around their town. And now they're not allowed to sleep. The only game that has, changed my psychology quite like No Man's Sky was DayZ, where I went from a green-go-lucky happy survivor willing to make friends to a cannibal monster that would literally dismember a man for a can of bacon. And here, it's not as extreme, but I started this game as an anarchist, as someone who's a bit anti-government, and then I became the government. And even after retrospect, I have no plans on stopping this greed of mine. So, if you have an inkling of interest in this game, I can say with full confidence, I recommend it. But also, you gonna listen to a hobbit tell you what to play, huh? Ooh, yeah. Hitting the ego a little bit, huh? What are you going to do about it? I'm not a hobbit.